Hello everyone, I hope you are having a great weekend. In today's video, I'm going to introduce you to the MailCow email server, which is a fully open source, full-featured email server solution for small businesses or even for enterprise deployments. Last time when we was doing the email server, it was in the cyber panel, which is also its own place, but if you want to have fully featured email server where you can add unlimited domains, create unlimited inboxes, MailCow is the way to go. As you can see, I already prepared the documentation for this deployment, and as you can see, there are some features that are really great. For example, it is running in a Dockerized interface in Docker. It fully supports SMTP, IMAP, and POP3 protocols. You will get integrated SOGo Webmail if you want to use Webmail. It has anti-spam and antivirus filtering using rspamd and clam AV for antivirus. Also, you will get options to sign with the DKIM or ARC keys to sign outgoing emails. And also it is very user-friendly. The interface is really straightforward. So when we visit the MailCow GitHub, you will see that is being actively released. There are many releases which contains bug fixes or security issues. And let me go to the main website. Where is it? MailCow. As you can see on their official websites, there are many fixes and security issues that are being already addressed. So as for stands now, it is really secure. What I need to mention that if you want to have your MailCow fully supported by the developers, you can purchase the MailCow support, which is from 45.90 euros a month, paid quarterly. If you want to support only one time without any recurring payments, you can support the developers by donating to the MailCow Stay Awesome license. And last thing, if you want to have your MailCow managed, you can order directly from the developers and you get a fully managed server with full support. So now it's time to prepare our server environment. Let's go. So for this deployment, I recommend to go with at least 4 GB of memory storage for our server, because we will set up Argon2 ID cryptographic, and it needs at least 2 GB memory by default. Another thing that we will need to prepare is all of the firewall ports. So we can go to our server provider, which in this case is Hetzner, and we can start preparing our server. So we will add our new server. It's gonna be in Germany, and you can use Ubuntu 22.04 by default, 4 GB memory, CPX21, that's fine. We don't need IPv6, SSH key, that's fine. You can enable backups. And we will set this domain up. It will be on mail.dkcandle.com and click create and buy. So we can open now the server. You will need to go to the networking tab, where we will need to change the reverse DNS, and we will set it up to mail dkcandle.com. And also we will need to set up the firewall. If you have provider or account where you did not request for email port opening, you will need to do beforehand, otherwise you won't be able to send your emails. Usually in Hetzner there is option to request port opening, and you need to type the reason why you want to have those ports open for email. So for SSH port 22, you can put your dedicated IP if you have one. So only you can connect to the server. Let me grab my IP. And for HTTP, you want to enable any IPv4 for HTTP, also for HTTPS. For 443. And now what you need to do is go port by port, like stated in the documentation, and you need to add it into Firewall. So let's go for TCP postfix SMTP. Let's go any protocol TCP port 25, and you go so on and so forth to follow every port that you have in the documentation. Once you have your firewall prepared, you will need to add the server to your terminal manager. I recommend using Termius, which is really easy to use and it has really great features. So let me switch to the terminal, and we add our new host address. It will be MailCow server. By default, when you set up server in Hetzner, it's gonna be root, and you're gonna set your SSH key like this, and you can click connect. All right, I think the font is fine. So first thing what you want to do is to do the basic security setup, like disabling root login, set up your root password, and basically enable auto updates. So we're gonna do password D to set up our root password. We will add our local user because we will disable root logins. Gonna be add user MailCow. We will need to add also the password 2 times. Skip this. Yes, it is correct. Also, you want to add the local user to the sudo group so we can perform administrative tasks. So user mode ag sudo MailCow. And now what you want to do is basically apt update $& apt upgrade -y to confirm, and now the server will be updated to the latest and greatest packages. So once those basic things are done, you can now install the CrowdSec or even any other security packages that you want to. If you have any issues or do you want me to help you prepare the server, I can do it for you. Just feel free to contact me. And for now, we can go back to the browser. And we will need to install our Docker environment. As in my documentation, you can navigate to the installation for Docker engine. And you will need to visit official guide from Docker itself. And you will need to go step by step to install those, which I always recommend to use official documentation, but in this case, I can go and do the convenient script that the MailCow provides, which you can also find in the Docker of documentation. It is meant for development environments, but in this case, it is completely fine. So let me find installation. And as you can see, you can just copy this command. We go back to the terminal. And you can just paste it, and the Docker will be automatically installed on your server. Our Docker repositories are already installed. As you can see, we have the latest packages, and now we need to enable the Docker service. So just type systemctl enable now Docker and press enter. F-sum. Next step is to navigate to the OPT folder. So we go cd/opt, and now we will git clone the MailCow repository. So let's go back to our browser. You can copy those comments from documentation I prepared for this video. And let's go back to our terminal. So the repo is being cloned. Now we navigate to the MailCow folder. And you can edit the MailCow configuration, where I will set up the Argon to ID cryptographic password hashing. So it will be nano. I think it will be where is it? Let me go back to the browser. Oh yes, it is mailcow.conf. So we go to nano. All right, first we need to generate config. So we copy this. I'm gonna type sh generate config.sh. Nope. Let me check it. Oh yes, it need to be like this. All right, so generate config.sh. And now you will need to enter your hostname. So it will be mail.yourdomain. And you press enter. You can enter your time zone. For example, Europe, Berlin, in my case. You want to go with the master branch, which is stable. You press 1. And it is of generating some certificates. Now what you want to need to prepare is to set up our domain. So we will go back to the browser. We will copy the IP address and you go to your domain registrar. So first record that you will need to add is a record, which gonna be handle mail.yourdomain.com. Paste your IP. You click save. And another record will need to be MX record. So you can send email and receive emails. So name will be for root, and mail server will be mail.dkcandle.com. Priority, you can do 1. That's fine, because we have only one MX record. And click save. Those DNS records are here, and those are recommended, but later when we add our domain in the MailCow interface, we will add more records. So let's move back to the terminal once again. Let me check that we have the MailCow configuration file. Yes, we have. So now we can edit the cryptographic hashing of passwords. So go mailcow.com, and as you can see, the MailCow pass scheme is set to Blowfish cryptographic, which is secure, but not as secure as Argon2 ID. So as you click this link, you will be redirected to the supported hashing methods. And I recommend to set up the Argon2 ID, which is really strong, and is only read only, which is really great. Okay, so when we have this, we just move back to the terminal. We remove this Blowfish cryptographic method, and we set up the Argon2 ID. And basically you can go Control O, enter to confirm, Control X to exit. And now we can start our MailCow server. So it will be docker compose app/d. And now our services and containers will be running. So we have our services run and prepared. We can double check by typing docker ps. And all of the containers are up and running. So we can now go to the web interface. To enter your web interface, you will need to go to the mail.dkcandle.com or the domain you set it up. And here is the standard web UI. So what you want to do, the username is admin and password is muhu. And you need to log in. And first thing what you need to do is to set up your own password. So you go to the system, configuration. Here is your admin. You go to edit and you generate strong and secure password. And you click save changes. Now you have your password changed. I strongly recommend to set up the time-based authentication so you can add 2FA code an extra layer of security for your administrative interface. Okay, so now we can go back to the email configuration and we will add our domain, which will be dkcandle.com. You can set up some descriptions, some limits if you want to do maximum possible aliases, how much mailboxes you want to set up on this domain, so on and so forth. It's really easy and straightforward. And also we have option to set up the relays. But in this case, we will just add the domain and restart the SOGo webmail container. So we're gonna click add domain. It will take a little bit because it is generating the DNS records that we will add. Perfect. And now we have our domain. You click the DNS. And you will need to really pay attention for every DNS record that you will need to add. So as you can see, the first A record we already have. Our reverse DNS is pointing to the mail server, which is correct. And also we have our MX record for email handling. So what records do we need to add? So first we can set up the TLS A record and also the CNAME and serve records for Outlook or Thunderbird. So it is automatically configured for you, so you don't need to do anything. So just go step by step, DNS record by DNS record to add to your DNS registrar. And once you have it, we can continue. So I'm gonna add this and yeah, I'll be back. So I have added all the DNS record to my registrar. I added the autoconfig, autodiscover, and SPF, DKIM, and DMARC for the email security. At this point, everything is ready to create our first inbox. So in order to create inbox on your domain, you need to go to the mailboxes. You click add a mailbox, and username, you just type the username. So it can be Simon or info and something else. It is up to you. Full name Simon, and you generate a strong password like this. And basically you can click add. And now we have our inbox. So what we want to do now is to do the basic email test. So when you go to the apps, you open the SOGo Webmail, and it's gonna be Simon at dkcandle.com. You enter a password, and here is your webmail interface. It is really slick and easy to use, but later we will set it up into the new Thunderbird release. So how to test the email? You basically go to the email tester, and you copy this address. You go to the mailbox, you create new email, you add a recipient. This is just a test. Perfect, it is working. And you click send. Okay, and now we can check the results. And as you can see, the score is a 10 out of 10. Our IP is not in blacklist. That's really good. And we are properly authenticated with our mail server. So the deliverability rate for this email will be really, really big or good, what can I say? Okay, that's done. What we can now do is to set up this email in the email client. So we will do it in the Thunderbird. So let me prepare Mozilla Thunderbird first. So I have Thunderbird ready, and we can add our first email account. What you need to do is go to the email, you type your name, your created email address, and let me get the password. And if you set up all the DNS record correctly, it will be automatically oh yes, as you can see, it is automatically configured for you. Sometimes if you get error, you just need to click 2 times to get the configuration from your DNS. And we can click done. Mail, you can confirm. And you can go finish. You can skip integration. And as you can see, we already have our mailbox. What we can also do is to double check if the configuration is okay. So you go to the account settings. You can check the SMTP. It is using TLS and SSL. That's perfect. And in the settings, that's also using SSL TLS. So that's really, really great. And now, if you want, you can just send the email or whatever you want to do with your email client. It is up to you. So that's done. Let me close the Thunderbird. And we can now talk about the different features that you can do in the MailCow. So if you set it up this for business, what you want to do is to edit the logos and those kind of things. So you go to the configuration, you can go to options, customize, you will upload your logos, choose file. Let me get the Webnestify logo. Open and upload. So here is the Webnestify logo. Also, you can change the MailCow UI, the title, name. So it's gonna be Webnestify Mail. And apps, it can be like apps, that's fine. You can create some announcements, it's up to you, but in this case, you can just click and save changes. And that's pretty it for the configuration. Also, if you want to create like different users, you can do it. You go back to the email configuration. You can add unlimited domains, and you can also create the domains admin. That means if you have more customers that have their own domain and they want to manage the email, you can do it by going to the edit. Where is it? To go to the email configuration, edit. Where I found this before, let me check. Let me go to the configuration, mailboxes. You go to the edit, the mailbox, and basically you can set up some permissions. And where did I found this? Just bear with me, I need to find it where you can set up the domain admin. Nope, this is not that. So it should be somewhere in the options. Nope, it won't be in the options. Go to configuration. The domain, nope. Mailboxes, that's fine. Maybe here in the mailbox, nope. Let me check the documentation. Tab domain admin. Admin logo to SOGo, that's not here. I know you can do it, but I just forget where it is. So I will pause this and I will let you know. All right, I found it, and it is basically here when you edit administrator in the configuration. And here you can see you can add the domain administrator. And you can type the username and you can assign it to the domains that you have there. So that's really simple. And I think that I covered everything that you need to know about this. You can play around for different options. Also, it comes with the fail to ban for the mail server and also for the host, so it's really good. If somebody tried to send emails from different IPs, it won't be possible. It will be also banned, and it won't send because you set up the DMARC. And yeah, what can I say? The MailCow is a really great email server. Is being actively developed, and yeah, give it a try. And if you like this project, you can support the developers. And yeah, that's basically it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and make sure to follow the documentation that I prepared for this. And as always, stay tuned, stay awesome, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.